first thing that I would like to know is if there is another earthquake or some other incident that happens that affects the Fukushima spent fuel pool and the reactors that are so badly damaged, what amount of radioactive material will affect Japan and will affect other countries like the West Coast, and how long-lived will that radiation be?
Oh my, it's so many, the big, the range of the possibility. It's depends on the damage. And at least we can say that the fuel in the vessel and the spent fuel in the pool, those whole amount is the tremendous amount, and some hundred, some thousand times of the Hiroshima or Nagasaki.
Thousands of times the volume of radioactivity of Hiroshima?
Therefore,
oh my God.
As the potential, there is the possibility. But
yes.
How big, it's depends on the damage or the size of the earthquake or so on. So therefore, no one can say, but there is a possibility, nothing more.
And it's so damaged so that if there's another earthquake, it's much more vulnerable than an undamaged nuclear power plant. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it is extremely vulnerable at the moment to earthquake damage.
Yes.
Oh boy. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is, I know that Japan is prone to earthquakes. What predictions have been made about an aftershock or another significant earthquake damaging Fukushima?
And it is still under discussion or under investigation, as far as I know. And there was the report. What was the cause of the accident at the Fukushima Diiatchi? The report has been there, but countermeasure is not yet proposed yet.
I see. I see.
It's a station. Therefore, I mean, Fukushima Diiatchi. In Fukushima Diiatchi, there was no countermeasure taken for the another earthquake and tsunami as in the same size or same grade of the earthquake.
So no predictions have been made.
Not yet.
Obviously, we know that a huge amount of radiation was already released from Fukushima when it was an intact operational nuclear power plant with all the safety features operational at that time. Now it's completely vulnerable. Is that the case? Because all the safety precautions are no longer operational. Things are open to the elements. The plant and the spent fuel pools are already damaged significantly and have not been fixed. So we can assume that even a less severe earthquake hitting Fukushima would have devastating effects or significantly damaging effects to Japan and possibly the rest of the world. And
I think so.
I think so.
I think so. But the government or TEPCO doesn't want to say or disclose that fact.
Yeah, well, that's nothing new to us, is it? We know if there is significant radiation discharge from the spent fuel pools or from the plant itself, do we know how long that radiation will remain radioactive?
No one knows.
Okay. So do you think that we should not only appeal to the United States but also to the United Nations?
This is our first activity in the abroad, outside of Japan. And now, next week, we may or most probably go to Europe and visit several countries. And then after, I want to contact with UN. not directly UN. That's my present plan.
Because of Chernobyl and the expertise that the Russians have regarding nuclear power plants and cleaning up messes with nuclear power, have they come forward to give any assistance to Japan in this crisis?
Yeah.
Have they? Has Russia offered any assistance?
Not yet. Not yet. Nothing. At this moment, no.
We all respect the ability of Japanese companies and the Japanese people to solve complicated problems. Why isn't this happening more quickly in Japan now?
And as far as so-called technology is concerned, Japan has a big advantage in several fields. But this is the cleanup or settlement of the accident. It's very much different issue, and mean that it is not a research and development, and not the stable activity as the manufacturing or manufacturing automobile. Japanese technology is very much advanced in the field of, in generally speaking, stable manufacturing production technology. But this is very much different. Site work and project management. And that this unstable job, Japanese technology doesn't work well. And Bechtel, for example, I was working for the so-called engineering activities, and Bechtel is our teacher. I have learned the Bechtel's manual very much, for example, and such a project like constructing the plant, constructing chemical plant, constructing the city, and so on and so, are very much, what can I say, not the field of the Japanese technology. As far as the simple, normal, or a conventional nuclear power plant construction is concerned, the Japanese company will be able to work. And however, this is cleanup project, very much different from others. We have met already some staffs of the statesmen, including Senator Feinstein, representative of the Hirono, some statesmen, the staff, not statesmen himself or herself, but and they shown a very keen interest, including Senator Wyden, and the staff of Senator Wyden asked me to prepare the information what has happened or what is happening under the multi-layered subcontracting system, and we will report coming back to Japan, and also in other places, in San Francisco, some places, the petition will be started in the near future.
Is there radioactive contamination in Tokyo drinking water?
There was, and I believe at this moment it has been cleared, but say some months later after the accident, the drinking water has been contaminated, and that water has been stopped for some weeks or like that.
Okay, is the food supply in northern Japan contaminated by radiation?
And presently, almost all foods are checked, and some are contaminated, some are not. And contaminated one was eliminated from the market. That is.
Okay. Is there still some, even if it's low-level amount of radiation, contaminating the food, air, and water in Japan, as well as to some degree on the west coast of the United States and other parts of the world.
Could be.
Could be.
The present roadmap shown by TEPCO indicates the 40 years. But I believe it's at least 40 years. And it doesn't include the handling or management of the waste materials, waste contaminated radiation materials. It needs hundreds of years, of course.
Oh my
Or
goodness.
some 10,000.
So I believe Mr. Yamada is appealing to us, to appeal to our government and other governments and the United Nations that we should all be getting together to clean up Fukushima, because it's not only going to destroy the Japanese society and culture as well as their land, but it's going to potentially harm all the rest of us, and not only for a short time, but in perpetuity. So that is his appeal. How can Japan use alternative energy to supplant nuclear power?
It's actually out of our scope. It's very much focusing only to the Fukushima Diiatchi. And we are not intending to discuss or to have the opinion about the energy policy. But as far as this is therefore the very private knowledge or opinion, that there are still some hydropower energy resources, but very less. And there are windmill possibility there, especially the off-coast, the hydro windmill. And solar power is concerned, it's something different, because we have not very wide free field. Therefore, the Japanese government is presently very much promoting the solar panel, but I don't believe it would be successful. This is very private, in my opinion. Sorry, SBCF doesn't have any opinion.
Okay, I think we should all give Mr. Yamada a big hand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.